Hello friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've come up with a great way to light these monster tanks, this 7-foot tank here and the 6-foot wide tank I have here on my left, this 300 and this 210. And I think it's working perfectly and I want to go ahead and share it with you. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first off, I'll give you a little bit of an orientation. This tank here is 7 feet across. It's 33 inches from front to back, and I believe it's about 25 inches tall. So it provides a little bit of a challenge with lighting to be able to get a full lighting across the entire tank. And for this reason, I decided not to go with a single strip. Instead, I'm using a 45-inch strip in the front from a company called AQUA, and I have two 33-inch strips in the back from a company called JC&P. Now, the reason I like this configuration is, well, for a couple of reasons. One, if one of the lights blow out, I can move them around and create a rail of lighting across the top until I can get that third light replaced. So I always have some sort of backup, a redundancy, or a way to reconfigure if one of the lights blow out, as opposed to having one long strip. If it blows out, if it partially blows out, you've got a problem until you can replace it. So I like having multiple lights for that. I also like it because when I go to feed the fish, this one strip in the front, all I have to do is push it back and I'm good to go for feeding, and then bring it back to the front of the tank. Now, the reason I like a light here in the front is because very often when you're looking at tanks, the fish, when they come up to the front, you kind of lose them. They kind of go into a shadow, and that's when they really should be popping the most, right? When they're right up at the glass interacting with you. Instead, they kind of wash out or go into a shadow area. So I like to have a light right up near the front of the tank, and that way you can really pick up the colors even when they're right at the front, like you can see here with these African Cichlids, who love to come to the front and interact with you, especially if they think you're going to feed them. This light here from AQUA, which is also a sort of a sister company with Hygger. You're familiar with Hygger lights, right? So this AQUA light, it's very well built, very sturdy, very heavy duty. Reminds me of some of the much more expensive lines out there, and like a beams work. It's built a bit like a beams work. It has a hard wire into the lighting system on the end. In other words, it's not a jack. It's not pinned in at the end. I have found that when you get that, you can get corrosion in there, and so unless you use some type of like electrical grease or something, that jack where you plug in the light can actually become corroded. It's happened to me, and then the light just becomes worthless. You can't use it. So I like this well-built, heavy-duty light laying directly on top of the tank. So it's going to get wet from time to time, so it has to be very, very well built. Now in the back, I have the lights elevated a little bit for a wider light spectrum, and also for heat dissipation. But what I love about those lights, and I'll just go ahead and show you, is I can change the mood of this tank. Let's say I want to go, I don't want it so bright in the back. Let's take the white out, and let's reduce the red to 1 notch, and do the same on the other side. We'll just take out the white and reduce the red to just 1 notch. So you can see there I have a much different mood in the tank. I have a little bit of a area in the back where they can kind of relax. If you have some fish, let's say you have frontosa and they like a slightly darker tank, they can go in the back there and kind of chill and feel a little more relaxed in the dimly lit tank. Some fish prefer that. Or you can add a little more red. If you want to bring out some of the red in the fish, you can do that. Add a couple notches of red. So you can play around with it so it actually looks the way you want it to look. And I'll show you the spectrum here. So you have 9 settings for white. I usually use it at 6. And 9 settings for red and blue. The red and blue I'll usually use at around 4. So you can see the way I've set that. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And that gives me a tank that isn't too bright, isn't too like shockingly lit, right? Especially with a whiter substrate. I don't want the fish washed out. At the same time, I don't want the tank too dark or too dimly lit. Even though sometimes in the evening, especially as things start to wind down, I'll go ahead and turn the backlights way down or turn the front light off and just have one of the backlights on blue only. So it gives you an endless combination of lighting that you can use. So I have the exact same combination of lights on the 210 gallon South American, Central American tank with an aqua light in the front and 2 JC&P lights in the back. I've included links underneath the video that you can go to if you'd like to take a closer look at these lights. These were provided to me by JC&P and also by the Hygger aqua companies. So a big shout out and thank you to them. I've been very happy with these lights. I'm happy with the build. I'm happy with just how sturdy they are, how reliable they've been. I've had no problems with them at all. All right, so those are some ideas on lighting. Go with redundancy, so if one blows out, you're good. Get some lighting near the front so that you can get them to pop when they come up to the front and not just go into shadows, and that is easy to move when you feed. And that's about it, really. Any questions, ideas, tips, share them below. We all learn from each other around here. We can talk about this and a whole lot more at the Saturday live stream. That's Cichlids and Coffee at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you like this video and the content of this channel, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe and notification bell. And if you want to support the channel further, consider becoming a monthly supporter through the Patreon program. And that is the Garage Gang, we call it. And it starts for as little as $3 a month, and it helps quite a bit. Thank you, my friends. You are the best. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.